Donald Trump knows he's vulnerable on prices, but he doesn't know what to do about it. So he's denying it. If Donald Trump doesn't like something, feels like it looks bad for him, it's a con job. But unlike Washington stories, like even the Epstein files, where a president can spin bad news, people inherently know the truth about, well, grocery prices, because they go to the grocery store. People feel prices every day, even at McDonald's. New article out from the Times, why Americans can't afford McDonald's anymore. As Trump uses the chain as a political backdrop, the country's quintessential cheap meal has started to feel like a splurge. With us now, Corey Lewandowski, 2024 senior advisor for the Trump campaign. Welcome. Good to see you. High prices, affordability crisis, whatever you want to call it. Donald Trump knows it makes him feel weak or look weak. Is that why he doesn't want to talk about it?
Well, look, I think where we are is we're coming out of the Schumer shutdown, the longest shutdown in American history, and people felt that. These government workers didn't get a paycheck because the government was closed. And so, look, whether you're going to McDonald's or you're trying to put food on the plate for your kids or buy new clothes or take care of things, when you don't get a paycheck for a month, there's accountability. Most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and that was only exacerbated by the federal government being closed for this period of time. Now, look, at the end of the day, most of these people will get back pay, but you still have to pay your rent. We saw it firsthand where these government employees had to go to their leasers, the renters or the people they're leasing from and saying, listen, we're going to incur a penalty every day.
We had air traffic controllers driving DoorDash, but
that's right.
Nevertheless, are you really saying that once everybody's gotten their back pay, suddenly people aren't going to feel life's too expensive?
No. But listen, if you go a month without a paycheck, you are feeling it much more acutely.
Government employees are a very small percentage of the
There's a lot of people. There were a lot of people who didn't get paychecks. And I want to point out the people that did their jobs every day, those air traffic controls, those TSA workers who weren't getting paid. And what have we started to do now? We've seen that they have been rewarded for that service, and that's how it should be. It should be a meritocracy. The problem
I figured this going a lot of places, the government shutdown wasn't one of them. This was Bill O'Reilly last night, who thinks it's a little bit deeper of a problem than just the government shutdown. Take a listen.
He doesn't have control over the hearts and minds of the American people. He does have control over the Republicans in Congress, no doubt about that. But people are going to, as you pointed out, they're going to evaluate the president about what kind of pain they're experiencing right now.
Does telling people the pain they're experiencing is a con job work?
Well, the president is a master at saying the same thing over and over and over again. He's very, very good at it.
Yes, he is.
Even if you don't agree with what he's saying,
on message.
He is always on message. So to continue to say that this is the Democrats' fault is very important as we now start to look at the next election cycle, which is right around the corner. The midterm elections are there, and people vote with their pocketbooks. If they think the president is doing a good job, they're going to return the Republicans to power in Congress. If they think that Republicans have done a bad job, they will vote them out of office. So to continuously remind on message, the Schumer shutdown, Democrats are doing this to you, is a focus on the midterm elections.
Okay, so you just said, I think, the very key point, right, which is that if the American people think Republicans are doing a good job, Republicans do well, and if they think he's doing a bad job, it doesn't work out well for Republicans, and so far you're not worried.
Look, I'm not worried. We have a long time, and I don't look at either Virginia or New Jersey or New York City as a bellwether for Republicans. Those states, those districts are historically Democrat anyways. And so, look, let's see where we go. We got a long way before the election cycle. Yeah. It's getting closer, but the economy is always the paramount reason why people show up to vote for or against a party.
All right, stay with us for 1 second. I want to get your thoughts on this. World events, trends, bad things normally catch up. Well, the United Kingdom happens a few years before America. World War II, Hitler and the Axis powers bombed England first. The socialist economic disaster of the 70s hit the UK first, then America. Brexit foreshadowed Donald Trump's 2016 victory. And now Britain faces an existential crisis because they allowed a massive influx of Muslim so-called refugees into their country.
It's like just a lot of violence, protests, immigration, cities that Andrew Sullivan, for example, says are places that my grandfather would not even recognize anymore as British. Like, immigration is great.
Yeah.
Anything can be too much. And,
well,
like, it has become Islamicized.
There are places in Britain where it is unsafe for a Western woman to walk because of how she is dressed. The country is embroiled in a major scandal called the grooming scandal, where Muslim gangs are accused of sex trafficking on a level unheard of in Western countries. From the Free Press, thousands of young girls, mostly children, were systematically groomed and raped by immigrant gangs across the UK over a period of decades. Police turned the girls away. Detectives were discouraged from investigating. Politicians and prosecutors did their best to sweep it under the rug. Journalists skipped the biggest story of their lives. A culture of silence enveloped the United Kingdom. It's a story about tolerance run amok and how a civilized country can convince itself to accept the most uncivilized crimes imaginable. Britain, it looks like, is trying to change course, but it is likely too late. In just 10 years, Britain saw its foreign-born population skyrocket by 34%. Almost 11 million new foreign-born residents squeezed into its island shores. That is in a country of under 70 million people. 10 million to 70 million. That is hard to fathom. And almost all of the newcomers are from non-EU countries like Sudan, Syria, Afghanistan, and Iran. I will let you figure out what those countries all have in common. 40% of Londoners are now foreign-born. 40%, that's almost half the population, foreign-born. It's not a shock that polling shows more than half of British adults support the UK, making it stop.
A grant of refugee status will last 2.5 years, not 5. It will be renewed only if it is impossible for a refugee to return home. Permanent settlement will now come at 20 years, not 5. But reducing the number of arrivals is just half of the story. We must also enforce our rules and remove those who have no right to be here. This will mean restarting removals to countries where they have been paused.
Okay, without the accent, stricter time limits for refugee status, limiting the number of arrivals. It's the polite British way of saying illegal immigrants need to go. And I guess it shows the UK is kind of serious about securing their borders. It appears to be too late. Donald Trump became president once again last year on one key issue, immigration. Thanks to 4 years of President Biden's open border policy plus lax immigration laws over the past 30 years, America is once again a little bit behind Britain. Is it too late? Hard to tell yet. But it will be if we don't learn from our friends across the pond, and quickly. Corey Lewandowski back with us. Too late?
It's not too late for us. It may be too late for the UK. Listen, I was in the UK about 2 months ago, had dinner with the brand new Minister of Interior, who you just heard speak. They talked a great game, but they're so far behind the times. We also have this big, beautiful ocean that protects us, and we've got a president in the White House that says we're going to build the wall on the southern border. Listen, what people don't recognize, which one of the historic accomplishments of this administration already, is we have stopped the flow of illegal immigration into this country. And the next thing we have to do is make sure that the people who are trying to come here aren't allowed in, and the people who are here illegally must leave.
Yeah, but you've got a Muslim mayor now who's a socialist elected in New York City 20 years after 9/11. You can't tell me America hasn't already changed.
Oh, it's changed historically. It's changed dramatically. But the American people put Donald Trump back into the White House on this issue of immigration, of keeping America safe and secure. And the only way to do that is you have to close our borders to people who are coming into the country illegally. You have to build that big, beautiful wall the president has talked about, that Congress has funded. And you have to get the people who are in this country who are committing crimes out. We're doing that every single day, and the country's becoming safer because of it. Britain doesn't have the will or the capacity to do what America is doing right now.
Does America have the ability, does Donald Trump have the ability in blue states to effectuate this?
Absolutely. And the reason is, whether you're in a blue state or you're a red state, or if you're in a community that's big or small, and you see these criminals operating in your communities, ICE is going into those communities and they're taking the worst of the worst off the streets. And what that's doing, actually, from an economic impact, is it's creating more value in the schools and the hospitals that aren't overburdened with those immigrants.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.